I do not give advice anymore, even when people ask me for it. Here's the tea. So, I had a friend in middle school, and we were close, and we went to the same high school and everything. And once we got to high school, I realized, I think I have feelings for her, right? So that was cool, whatever, but I never told her. So eventually she got in a relationship, and my feelings started to kind of fade because the love goggles started to come off, and I realized that some of her behaviors were definitely red flags that I was ignoring, but I was still like, this is my good sis, like, this is my friend, like, I would tell her, like, hey, I don't think that this behavior is necessarily good or whatever, but I didn't push too hard or whatever. So anywho, she gets in a relationship with a girl, and that girl is friends with my sister, and they're 2 years younger than us or whatever. So we all become friends, and we're all on the basketball team. Everything's chill, right? So the girlfriend, my friend and her girlfriend, they would come to me and my sister, and they would be like asking us for advice. Let's note, I never inserted myself into anybody's relationship. I never said, oh, like, this is what I think you should do, blah, blah, blah. They came to me for advice. They asked me a question. I answered it to the best of my abilities, right? So they would do that all the time. There was one day we would walk home together and stuff sometimes. So there's one day I didn't walk home with them. I don't remember why. And then the next day, I was in the bathroom with the girlfriend, and I can't remember if my sister was there, but basically the girlfriend was venting about, oh, how, like, my friend is always telling her what to do and blah, blah, blah. She was saying all this stuff. And I was like, this has been going on for months. Like, there's always these little things that you guys heard in a tip about or arguing about. And I'm like, if you guys are, like, arguing so much, maybe you shouldn't be together. Which I think is not a crazy thing to say. Maybe it wasn't, like, the best way to put it or to, like, broach the topic. But, like, I just said it, like, how I was thinking it at the time. I was like, maybe you guys shouldn't be together. My friend, she did not like this. Not at all. She basically was like, how could I say that? And she was like, I'm not talking to her anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, so you're going to ignore me? Cool. I'll move the same way. I'll give you the same energy. And so instead of having a mature conversation, we basically started ignoring each other. The relationship didn't last, and me and my friend never got back to being close because I was able to admit, like, hey, like, I shouldn't have broached it like this. I should have said it better. Like, I'm not trying to sabotage your relationship. It's just, like how I felt. She's over here talking about, oh, her girlfriend is impressionable and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, so clearly you can't take accountability for your actions and your part in this. Like, it's not my fault that you guys were having relationship issues, right? And so basically she didn't want to take accountability, and I was just like, I'm not groveling for a friendship. And so we never got back friends. Moral of the story, learn to lie. Learn to lie, or learn to withhold the truth and choose your words super carefully. Because I feel like even when people say, tell me like it is, tell me the truth, you can be honest with me, sometimes they're actually not ready for the truth. And so you got to be able to assess, like, is there going to be a consequence to me for telling the truth? Like, you got to know what you're willing to risk to tell the truth, to be right, After this situation, I thought, like, okay, I just need to be selective about how and when I say things, No. People will still be upset with you even when they know you're right. It doesn't matter. Like, they will feel how they want to feel. I realize sometimes people aren't looking for logic or maturity. They just want you to validate what they want to do, basically. They want you to give them permission, and they don't really care about your opinion, or they don't really want your opinion. I'm sure you've experienced it where a friend or someone is like, "Oh, what should I do? Da 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 da. Tell me what you think." And then you tell them and they do the complete opposite. Or they say, "Should I do this or this?" Right? And then you tell them, "Oh, do option A." And they're like, actually, I wanted you to say option B." I am someone who's done this before, so I know people do this for real. They don't want your actual opinion, they just wanted you to validate them. Sometimes it's worth pushing back. Like, if this is going to be a pivotal moment, like a monumental decision that your friend is making and you know they're going down the wrong path, sometimes it makes sense to be like, "Girl, I think you really, really, really need to take my advice and really push for it." But at the end of the day, this is an adult. They're going to do what they want to do. And sometimes you just have to let people fall and then help them get back up. You can't prevent people from making mistakes if they don't want to. And some people learn better by making their own mistakes and then learning that way. I feel like for the people that know me and my friends and family who keep coming back to me for advice, they know that I'm not saying things to be mean, to be spiteful or negative. They know that I truly believe these things, that I'm coming from a logical place, and that I have their best interests at heart. And sometimes, even if they don't take my advice in the moment, they can retrospectively be like, that time, you was actually right. I should have listened to you and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, because I'm not trying to come from like a purely emotional place. And at the end of the day, I'm not like forcing my opinion on you. I'm just saying, like, here's how I think of it. I'm explaining my way of thinking. And if you see the value in that, that's great. And take my advice. If you don't, then do what you feel like. So, yeah, I think it's just like, I will still impart my opinion on people on occasion, but I just try to keep it like to myself. If it's not like someone's like, "No, no, no, give me advice," or like just a moment where it's like, okay, like my advice is like needed in that time, then I just keep my advice to myself, honestly. And maybe you should too, because I feel like it saved me from a lot of sticky situations. So yeah, in this big old 2026, I'm saving my words. Thank you.